We just kind of separated the load out a little bit. We have it still secure. It's lower. It'll give a flat surface for my bladder to ride on. And I think this is how you're going to see us. This is how this bike's going to go down the trail. And then I have access to things a little bit easier too in case of emergency. So it's good to go. We are ready.
So Jack, what are you doing over here?
As we're tweaking, you're always finding something, and I looked underneath. I was hanging a TAT bell that my daughter-in-law made for us. You know, every motorcycle has to have a bell. Look it up, see what the story is behind it. But I looked underneath, and I've already lost bolts on my brand new motorcycle. So we're putting bolts back in and getting them tightened up, and just one more check. So we're ready to go, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, and the reason for losing bolts, it's nothing, no fault of the manufacturer. The bikes take a lot of abuse, a lot of vibration, a lot of rough conditions, and so it's a very common thing to have that happen. That's why most of the bolts, we put some thread locker on it, and still that can be an issue, so it's good to bring along a few spare bolts.
So a couple things on my bike. The way that it's loaded, I've got the saddlebags on each side and then the top bag. So the way it's laid out, in here, I have all my rain gear. Easily accessible, I can just pull it out at a moment's notice. So all my rain gear is in here, gloves, the whole works. This pack up here carries all my clothes, which is a very small pack, but it's personal items. So I've got my medications, anything that I need for hygiene, clothes, those type of things are all in this bag. On the other side, exactly the same as this, I have all my bedding gear. So I have my my mat. I've got a sleeping bag liner, so if it's really warm, you can actually open that up and it becomes a sheet. I've got a very light sleeping bag. If it does get cold, I can put the liner in the sleeping bag and get a little more heat out of it. Pillow, I've got just some odds and ends, cooking supplies, things like that that are in there. Top bag, I've got a riding jacket, I've got my cold weather gear, base layer. I also have some shirt, pants that can be made into shorts for if we're not riding, for in the evening. Get out of your stuff, get out of your boots, some second set of shoes, some comfortable shoes in there as well. Just on the other side of this, I've got my, that is my splurge. It is a two-man tent. It's a little bit bigger than I would like, but it does give me the opportunity if we're in rain. I can absolutely sit in that thing. I can sit up, I can get dressed. I may have to move it a little bit because of my blinker there. And then on the top, I've got my fuel bladder. I still have my stock tank, so I only have 2.1 gallons. It does get 60 miles to the gallon, but we got to be able to hit close to 200 miles between gas stops. So I've got a bladder up on top. A couple additions that I've done, of course. Scott and I have both gone through the bikes. I've redone the suspension both front and back. I added on a tool tube, so I have all my tools inside here. A saw. This is actually in one of our other videos you've seen where we actually had to pull this out to get through the trails. So that's on there. A few hose clamps of different sizes. It's just an easy way to store them. I got a tank bag on there. I'm going to keep all my batteries, my rechargeables. I've got a charging station I put on the top. And then I'll have sunglasses, and my cell phone sits in there. I've got a weather bag that goes over the top to try and keep it dry. Let's see, anything else? I've done a ton of engine work to it. One of the nice things is the Trail Tech. Scott kind of talked with you about that. That thing is a lifesaver. That is so good. You can actually put in your own GPS tracks, download them from other apps, and create your own little trails anywhere you want to go. Plus, you can go out and attempt to get lost, and if you do succeed, you can actually find your way back out. Fender bag up front, I have my tire tools, some tire irons, and a spare inner tube for the front. And then on the got to think about it. Where did I put my other inner tube? It might be in here for a rear tube. So I've got a tube for both front and rear. Better safe than sorry. Tusk handlebars, just a number of things that hopefully we should be able to make through here. And then one decorative item that Scott and I both are displaying, we have these little bells. You guys know about the gremlin bells on motorcycles? This was given to me by my daughter-in-law, Leanna, love ya. She gave us each of those just to make sure that we got a safe trip. And that's it. So tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., we head out, and hopefully you guys will join us for the rest of the journey.